Good morning. Welcome to Life Daily with Dawn. And today I'm going to share with you a section of my book, All Systems Go. We're going to start a new series today, and I'm anticipating that we're going to be exploring the 24 life or solar systems in a bit of detail for a while. But before we do that, I want to transition because we've just come off a 12-day series on the 12 diamond dimensions and the passage to a new society and what that looks like. How will we create systems and structures of the future? And we're now going to shift back to the individual, you as an individual and your life. How can you come to life and live in full expression? And these 24 life systems, or I also used to call them solar systems, SOULAR, but these 24 life systems support us in full thriving in our lives, in our individual lives, and then as we look outward in the community and in these larger systems and structures and in the whole of society and all of humankind. So, but there is a section in the introduction that I want to begin with. It is called the Life Situation Room, the restoration of whole, balanced, life-giving systems, organizations, and structures. And then at the end, I come back to the individual level. When I released this book and wrote this, we were in quite a different scenario in terms of our collective journey. And I think it's going to be interesting to share this with you as a bridge again from moving from the systems and structures we've been talking to into the individual level. Because it's always happening on both levels, the individual and the collective. And that's something that's woven through much of what I share and my general philosophy of life. And in particular, this book, All Systems Go, while it is specifically written for the individual, the title is All Systems Go, how to fine-tune your life and reconnect to what matters most. And it's really about a reconnection to your essential self, your essential life's journey, and then your essential truth. And cultivating that from your core, returning to the light and the life and the love that you are as an individual so that you can experience life and life to the full thriving in this life. So with that said, I just want to share today just this introductory framework, and then we will move in tomorrow to more specifics. And this series may last for a while, or I may weave in and out of this series. So I hope you enjoy it. This is called the Life Situation Room, the restoration of whole, balanced, life-giving systems, organizations, and structures. Humanity is poised on the brink. We're leaning into the unknown, positioned for flight or fall. Will we free ourselves, or will we falter yet again? We have come to the edge of what has been, and some would say we have taken our first steps forward in a radical reordering of our shared reality. Yet nothing seems fixed. Our course seems to change depending on the day, and life can appear to be a clunky system made obsolete, ever in chaos and breaking down. What does life look like as we move into the next phase of our evolution? Where are we headed? What's next and what's now? These are the questions many of us who desire the best for our lives are asking, and for our world are asking. More than anything else, this is what I believe this time of global transformation offers us, the unparalleled opportunity to return to all that matters most and to embrace a fresh, new perspective on what precisely that might be. Wherever you believe we are in the process, it is clear that there is a situation in our world at large and in communities around the globe that are in dire need of our attention. The word situation refers to how one is located or positioned with regard to its environment. On the whole, we often fail to clearly note our situation individually and in collective groups. What is the state of our soul? What is the state of our life? What is the state of the world? Are we where we want to be in relationship to these 3 points of reference? Have we understood that we are not separate from the situation we see unfolding outside of us? We have to date created a myriad of systems, organizations, and structures, what I often refer to as SOS, with the best of intentions of supporting life, while in fact many of these systems are in actuality doing the precise opposite. They are stripping us down, reducing us to something less than who we are, often because they are rigid and imposed upon us with a misguided notion that any one of us is in need of saving. These unsustainable patterns are becoming more and more apparent. Will we settle for partial fulfillment, or will we dare to look again and love it all, allowing for the restoration of the whole of humanity? Will we assume responsibility, engaging fully our co-creator roles, or will we shrink and hide in terror? The outcome remains to be seen. Who would look honestly at the events of the past decade across all sectors, political, financial, economic, healthcare, business, race relations, local government, and police forces, to name a few, and argue that the situation in our world has not reached a level of crisis? Still, we seem to be waiting for the next election, or hoping some magical solution resides out there. We have vested our power in external approaches for centuries and millennia. All too often we have simultaneously created dividing lines between what we know to be true in our hearts and what we allow to manifest in our environment when we forfeit or set aside this knowing. Is it not time to consider a whole new way forward together? Still, even those of us no longer hanging on to the hope of an external solution aren't quite sure what to do or whether it will be enough. There are things to be considered, and now is the time to consider them. We must not delay. We can no longer afford to cling to the shores. I am reminded of these words from Staying Current, a passage in my book, Cultivating Essence. Imagine a river. Floating, you have passed the sudden bend. Ahead, you see yet another twist in the winding river's course. You are not looking back, not anticipating, just staying with the current and allowing yourself to be carried forward naturally, laughing with the joy of the river's flow. You may have been told, don't make waves, but you do make waves. You are meant to make waves because you are, in fact, a wave. You are dancing light, moving through space and time, expanding, changing shape and form, always becoming. Stop holding back. Stop pulling against the tide. Stop clinging to the shore. Stop resisting and letting go. Stop resisting letting go. Say yes to the unknown that is far on a distant horizon and rush into it. Life is here. Life is having kissed the shore and allowed yourself to let go, to be pulled back into a vast ocean of experience. To know ourselves as dancing light and to let go and trust in life, this is the only way we can stay with the current of the accelerated pace of our times. Resonant within the clear simplicity of this approach is the soul-activating truth, really more of a remembrance, that we are more than who we think we are. In this dawning awareness lies the very hope of humanity. In this time of great transformation, as you are reevaluating your life, consider that you no longer need to wait. You are ready. You have all you need. There are, without doubt, questions to be considered. I would offer these three as we begin our journey together. What does it mean to you personally to come fully to your life and live in full expression? How will you know you are moving in this direction? The second, what might happen if you said yes to the whole of who you are in a much deeper way than ever before? Where do you think that yes would lead? Are you willing to remain open to the possibility of a miracle? And the third set of questions, really, will you continue to delay, telling yourself there is another hour yet? Or will you begin today to bring your attention to the human systems to which you and only you hold the code and the key? Many of us have awakened to an expanded awareness of our individual responsibility to contribute to humanity with the choices we make on a daily basis. We all bring our unique gifts and passions to the table. This is beautiful and by design. Some bring a deep concern about the effects of overpopulation. Others feel a deep connection to trees and flowers, sea life, or the wisdom of the horses. Some individuals and groups are passionate about food sources, how to model peace in a warring world, or children who have been left to fend for themselves. Some are content to dream and write, while others speak out with fervor and intensity. Whatever your particular passions and interests, allow them to awaken your soul, in your soul, those streams meant to flow forth from you as you pass through this world. What does matter more than anything else? What is foundational, essential to our survival as a species and to our own personal evolution on this planet? These are important questions. However, it is all too easy to get overwhelmed with the global crises that swirl around us, which only leave us feeling a sense of hopelessness. In this book, All Systems Go, we will begin with a focus on you, a single individual, uniquely equipped with more influence on the world around you than perhaps you now realize. That influence is a natural extension of you being fully you. It requires no more effort than your willingness to allow your soul to lead the way. Every individual has something to contribute. You carry some new layer of truth, wisdom, or intuitive knowing that is essential to the timeless tapestry of truth we are weaving together. You not only matter, you are absolutely integral. Most of us want to water the world with the fullest expression of who we are, but the ways in which we do that have changed. It's as if somebody somewhere picked up the blocks of our world and dumped them out in random order. The deck has been shuffled. How do we get our bearings? How will we find our way? These are the questions we are invited to explore together. So here it is, 2025, more than 5 years later, after I wrote this. I wrote this, actually, when I'm thinking about it, I wrote this in a time around 2014, and as I said, I released it in January of 2015. So that was before the 2016 election that was so divisive. That was before all that has unfolded in these 4 years. And it was certainly before the time of coronavirus and COVID-19 and the ways, the lockdowns and the ways that our lives have been brought to a halt, really. And this is great opportunity, as I've mentioned before. It is great, great opportunity. There is for us as a collective in all the communities that we are a part of and individually to revisit what it is that matters most, to return to the light and the life and the love we are, and to cultivate that from our core and to really ask ourselves these questions. Who is it that we want to be? What is it that we want to create? How will we contribute to this world? Those are the questions that matter in our time more than ever. And I just want to invite, as we close today, I want to invite you to consider what it would mean to see yourself as dancing light, to see yourself as a wave moving through time and space, to see yourself as someone who not only makes a tremendous difference and has a great impact on the world around them, but the way in which that is done day to day, moment to moment even, creates patterns of potential for all of humanity. There is most definitely a connection. I believe this with my whole heart. And sometimes, I get incredibly discouraged about my own life and my own life's work. Because if I look at numbers or common measurements of value, I have none, because, like I can look at my income, for example, over the last 5 to 7 years, which has been, what it is, or actually over the last 20 years, has been what it is, partly by choice and my choice to focus on what I do believe matters most, but all the same, it looks very abysmal. Very dire. And many of us in this climate currently, when I'm recording this, have had major setbacks to businesses, to jobs, to our way of life even. And, what's essential is being defined for us, and what is where we can go. Our movements are being restricted. And yet what I would offer is that if you believe you are dancing light, and if you believe you are a wave here and now, then it changes things, yes. But that wave is something that it's a beautiful gift entrusted to us, and it's something that actually has great power and potential. And the patterns of potential that emanate out from you and your choices make a tremendous difference in our collective future. And really exciting. If you stick with me through this series, I truly believe will make a difference in your life and how you experience life, because that's what we're here for the experience of life, to come to life and live in full expression. Last thing I want to leave you with, and then I'll figure out where we go from here tomorrow, is the quote that is at the beginning of this book, All Systems Go, which is the core idea from which everything that I share in this series springs, and that is this: you are a dynamic and sustainable system, coordinated power harnessed from within. And we're going to look at solar systems or life systems to come to life and live in full expression in a variety of ways by connecting to your essential self, your essential journey, your essential truth. And these are, within each system, are some momentum action pathways. And each one is a connection point that allows you to ground in the light and the life and the love that is at your core, and to bring the dynamic and sustainable system that you are to life. Because what better gift can you give to humanity? And how might the world change in this time or any other if we all really dove deep into the joy and the responsibility of doing just that? So I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll figure out where we go from here. I'm excited to share this series. I guess I'll just call it All Systems Go. And we will... I'll begin a new playlist, so if you miss a few, you can go back and look at that at any time. And lots of love. Have a great week ahead on this Monday, April the 13th.